Hello, dear friends. We are here once again with you talking about a special topic today. And I hope you all be with us and make your comments in your chat, make your questions, your suggestions, that everything is welcome for every one of us, especially spiritual life that is going now for the fourth year working in English for everyone. So now I ask my dear friends, welcome every one of you. Okay, Solomon,
Hello.
Silvia,
Hello, good evening, everyone. Wonderful to be here again. And welcome. And please participate, send questions, send your thoughts about the subject. That's very important because that's this a pursuit of happiness is something that motivates mankind to better worlds and to want to be better themselves. So, be a good talk today and welcome everyone. Thanks.
yes. Thank you, Silvia. Charles,
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Who doesn't want to be happy here on Earth? That's exactly what we want. What we'll try to explain. Is it really possible to be absolutely happy or not, or a little bit, or more or less? And what is the secret for that?
exactly. Wonderful, Charles. Now, my dear friends, happiness is one of the most elusive elements of human life. We are often told that there are methods and equations that lead to constant happiness. Is it true? Can we always be happy? Constantly happy? Is it possible? Perhaps happiness calls for a much different perspective. We will show to you all video. It is possible to always be happy, finding true happiness. So thanks to Pursuit of Wonder that we will show now. Just a minute.
Happiness as an emotion is one on a spectrum of many. It is, of course, our favourite emotion, though, and we dedicate our entire lives trying to isolate it. But even if we could control the conditions of life to solely produce happiness, we should not want to. Without negative emotions, we would never know what feels positive. We do not want the emotion of happiness to be permanent because without binary contrast, there is no distinction between emotions and therefore there becomes none. What we need is a different kind of happiness, a happiness that comes from the appreciation of the idea that we are able to feel and experience the entire spectrum of life and emotion. We must not confuse attempting to achieve a sense of wonder and stimulation in life with attempting to achieve the emotion of happiness. It is good to feel the emotion of happiness, and we should try our best to do so as much as possible. But when we chase the idea that this happiness can be a ceaseless and constant state of being, we remain in a never-ending pursuit, attempting to blockade the ebb and flow of life. But of course, this is impossible. The flow of life is far too strong and powerful to dam. There are too many moving parts for everything to always work in favor of just one person, including you. You must instead be appreciative that you are not always happy and that life thinks you're worthy of experiencing the incredible array of emotions. Things won't always be good and things won't always be bad, but at least they will always be. Deep down, we fear a life of complete certainty and happiness. If our lives were free from all problems, our only remaining problem would be not having any. Our sense of purpose would dissolve. We would stand still in a world that is in constant motion. In order to be a part of the life around us, we must move with it and accept the flow of ups and downs. You must be like a garden, out of which the entire spectrum of emotions can grow. As the seasons and conditions of life change, certain plants will bloom while others will die. But as the cycle rotates, your garden will remain rich, sustainable, and full of life. Ironically, by maintaining an appreciation for the whole spectrum of emotions, happiness will appear more often in your life, and you will get what you really wanted in the first place.
Thanks so much for the YouTube channel, Pursuit of Life, of Wonder, sorry. Okay, now that's it, my dear friends. Okay, let's talk about happiness. Can we be truly happy in this world?
Well, I'd like to discuss some of the latest research, and it's a bit long, but I think it's interesting. So I'll just read out what I got about this, which is a quote: "Happiness can be learnt, but we have to work at it." So that's a study has recently found. This is the Bristol Neuroscience Research Network. They had a press release on the 11th of March 2024. And they concluded we can learn to be happy, but only get lasting benefits if we keep practicing. And that's a first of its kind, this study has revealed. And the team behind the University of Bristol's Science of Happiness course had already discovered that teaching students the latest scientific studies on happiness created a marked improvement in their well-being. But their latest study found that these well-being boosts are short-lived unless the evidence-informed habits learnt on the course, such as gratitude, exercise, meditation, or journaling, are kept up over the long term. Launched in 2018, the University of Bristol's Science of Happiness course was the first of its kind in the UK. It involves no exams or coursework and teaches students what the latest peer-reviewed studies in psychology and neuroscience say really makes us happy. Students who took the course reported a 10 to 15% improvement in well-being, but only those who continued implementing the course learnings maintained that improved well-being when they were surveyed again 2 years on. Senior author Professor Bruce Hood said, "It's like going to the gym. We can't expect to do one class and be fit forever. Just as with physical health, we have to continuously work on our mental health. Otherwise, the improvements are temporary." Published in the journal Higher Education, it is the first to track well-being of students on a happiness course long after they have left the course. Professor Hood said this study shows that just doing a course, be that at the gym, a meditation retreat, or an evidence-based happiness course like ours, is just the start. You must commit to using what you learn on a regular basis. Much of what we teach revolves around positive psychology interventions that divert your attention away from yourself by helping others, being with friends, gratitude, or meditating. This is the opposite of the current self-care doctrine, but countless studies have shown that getting out of our own heads helps get us away from negative ruminations, which can be the basis of so many mental health problems. Professor Hood has distilled the Science of Happiness course into a new book out on March 10th. That's already been published. The Science of Happiness, 7 Lessons for Living Well, reveals an evidence-informed roadmap to better well-being. The other paper authors are fellow University of Bristol academics Catherine Hobbs and Sarah Gelbert and Laurie R. Santos, a Yale academic whose course inspired Bristol's Science of Happiness course. Further information, surprising takeaways from the Science of Happiness course include: talking to strangers makes us happier, despite a majority of us shying away from such encounters. Social media is not bad for everyone, but it can be bad for those who focus on their reputation. Loneliness impacts on our health by impairing our immune systems. Optimism increases life expectancy. Giving gifts to others activates the reward centers in our brain, often providing more of a happiness boost than spending money on oneself. Sleep deprivation impacts on how well we are liked by others, which is surprising. Walking in nature deactivates part of the brain related to negative ruminations, which are associated with depression. And finally, kindness and happiness are correlated. So I think this is the latest kind of study and the latest findings, and I think they corroborate really what Spiritism is teaching, that when you are kind, you can be happier. But of course, we can't be 100% happy 100% of the time. So that's my contribution.
Silvia,
It's very interesting, this study, isn't it? Because, as you said, most of the things we learn in Spiritism,
That's right.
how, the service to others and everything. This is a very sort of interesting subject, in the sense that normally when we think about happiness, we think not worrying about anything, having lots of money, don't have to work, having a life of leisure and without any concerns. And as we know, this is a complete panacea, because life is not like that. Even people who really have loads of money, lots, but really lots of money, they are not happy. And sometimes can be even worse, because if you have a moderate means or not that much, you know that all the people around you are friends, because they really like you, because you can't give them any. But if you're very rich, you never know that the people around you are just flatterers and want something out of you or not. So I think it increases the feeling unhappy. But I think it's, basically we also sometimes don't appreciate the good things we have. I was talking to someone today, and she said, oh, the important thing really is to have health. And was a person that was very active, did exercise, walked a lot, and she needed an operation, and it's taking a long time to heal, and because of the operation she had, so she can't walk that much, she can't exercise as much as she used to. And it's interesting, because it's only when you have this kind of situation that you learn to appreciate the joy and the true happiness of having health, of being able to just get up from your bed in the morning and go about your business. How often we, especially now, you seem to walk in the streets and bumping into people on their mobile phones. And, no one lifts their eyes to see the stars or to see the moon. Like last night, it cleared a little bit for about half an hour, and we had the most incredible moon. But most people don't appreciate the beauty of having your eyes to see nature. Here now in England, it was going through spring, and it's such a special time, because I took some pictures today of trees that a few weeks ago was completely dead. There was nothing. And today I was passing, I saw all the leaves coming out, and it's incredible, the difference, the change that a few weeks make. And this is happiness, this is joy, to be able to appreciate these things. To be able to have a friend to talk to go for a cup of coffee and have a few laughs. And I think that's, if we could only learn to appreciate the small things, that they are the ones who really make you happy. We have to work, and sometimes, oh God, it's so cold today, snowing or raining, do I have to go to work? But then, you have a satisfaction of a day that you fulfilled, you've done well. There is a sense that you've been useful. And I think that's also another thing that we miss many times, and is one of the sources, if not total happiness, because we know that in this world we're not going to have a total happiness because of the conditions of life that we have here. Even if everything's going well for us, the fact that we know that maybe a friend is not well, or you listen to the news and you see something very painful, difficult happening, then you feel that, you empathize with the pain of others. So you can't really have total, complete happiness, but we can have maybe joie de vivre. Is that the, the right way to say it, Charles? The joy of life.
Joie de vivre.
Joie de vivre. So this is very important. It's the small things, Saint David, which is the patron saint of Wales, he used to say, do the small things, because that's the ones that are fulfilling. That's the one that at the end of the day, you look back in your day and say, yes, I've done a lot of small things today, and you have a sense of achievement. And I think one of the greatest thing that makes us content with life and give us a sense of purpose is the fact that we felt useful, that our life has some meaning. And I think that's what we need in life, meaning. We think of happiness, and there are days that are wonderful, and things go, but even in the darkest hour, there is always something to look forward to. There is always an end. Everything must pass, and they do, and we need to have hope, and this what brings joy and contentment and happiness as well. I feel extremely happy. And I think one thing as well, I'm going to close, but I remember once, usually I'm not in a bad mood. I'm not a bad mood kind of person. And I used to go to work and I would say, good morning, hello, how are you? I was cheerful in the morning. And sometimes irritated people. Someone once, I was there making my coffee and they said, why are you always happy? Why are you always laughing and saying good morning to everybody? And I said, because I am happy. It's just the fact that I'm here and I came and I'm safe and I have a job to go to and I meet people that I like. It makes me happy. And I think we need to see as well, if somebody's joy starts depressing us or irritating us, why? What's the reason for it? Because there's something that we need to work on ourselves. So I think instead of going, what Jesus says, love God and love your neighbor as yourself, and love your neighbor as yourself, to like ourselves, to find that each and every one of us have something that is special, that is unique for each one of us. And I think we need to learn what is unique in each one of us, in ourselves, and we can present it to others, and we can make say, this is me, that's special, this part of me is unique, and I can share that with you, and I think that brings us joy, and try to do the little things, and that's, have a sense of purpose, meaning in our lives. I think that's halfway through achieving, if not total happiness, but at least a sense of well-being and peace in our lives, I feel.
Wonderful, Silvia. Exactly. You see that we are the same tune, the same connection. Because today, when I was preparing in the morning, thinking about this topic for tonight, and I was talking with someone here that was working this building, and I asked for him, what is happiness for him? Né? He said, I'm happy when I'm dancing for hours, hours. I said, only that? He said, yeah, because then I'm dancing, I forget everything. I forget the problems with my family. I forget that my job is terrible now. I'm about to be unemployed. And he said, dancing, dancing. He said, I never thinking about dancing. Dancing makes someone so happy. That's interesting. For me, Elsa, happiness is when I can really, as Silvia, make other people happy, at least not suffering, or give some guidance or something that I can share from my heart. So this is something that make me really happy. And today I was listening Cortella. Cortella is from Curitiba, is a philosopher, and he was telling about happiness as well because I was in tune. And he was telling that for someone, happiness is when you have your kitchen full of things to clean, né? Your pia de cozinha, que I forgot what I had say, pia de cozinha, né? Is full of things.
Sink. Sink.
Sink it's full of plates, dishes, etc. To clean, and you are living, and one day you decided to go there and clean everything. You clean everything. When you finish, you put your 2 steps back and said, I'm so happy now. Because your kitchen is really clean. It should be something that is your routine. Clean your things and be happy like that and working. But for some people, it's really a topic that make a difference on the day. Clean the kitchen is a happiness for someone. Dancing is a happiness for another one. For Solomon, I don't know. And for Silvia, it's more or less like what I said. And for Charles now,
Hmm.
about happiness.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. Huh? We have what we can see already from these exchanges is happiness is a mindset. Huh? You have identical situation where one will be happy and the other one will be totally unhappy. And so it's up to each one. And it's interestingly, Solomon, you read this study, which is very interesting because it shows that you can learn happiness with some coaching or some courses. You can have the hints and the tricks to be as happy as possible. But I think it's maybe the course alone is maybe not fully enough, because even with the course will have some people even after the course be happy in certain situation and some other being unhappy in the same situation. So it's really up to us to enjoy the relative happiness. And Silvia told it very well. Complete happiness on earth, unfortunately, it's not possible. In the gospel, we even know we can even read, happiness is not of this world. Talking about, of course, the future world where more happiness will be available. But in this world, complete happiness is not possible. But relative happiness is. And what is the secret to reach this relative happiness? A lot of these secrets have been already told by all of you, Elsa, from dancing, or some people find their happiness. And even by analyzing, is dancing really making the key to be happy? Isn't dancing a trick to forget the problems momentarily and to be temporarily happy? One can ask the question. But we should seek, okay, what should we do to be as happy as possible, relatively happy, but not just in a short term by dancing or by having some fun or by having, no, we should really try to have the happiness all the day. And that is where the mindset is coming. And Kardec is giving a lot of hints about that. The spirits are telling, it's question 920 and following of the spirits book, for instance, talking about this, relative happiness and unhappiness. The spirits are clearly saying to enjoy relative happiness, the best trick, generically of course, is to be in harmony with the natural laws or with the laws of God. The more we manage to be in harmony with the laws of God or with the natural laws, the more we will be happy. And so what is it to be in harmony with the laws of God? Indeed, Solomon, you are right. Most of the hints given in the course are exactly the one told in the part 3 of the Spirit's book, Moral Laws, to try to make us to put us in harmony with the laws of God. One thing is sure: happiness is the result of our own work and not to be awaited through a favor done by God or whoever else. We are making ourselves, doing what is necessary to be happy. Nobody will do that for us. And I give an example. Who does not have problems here on the earth? I think we all have problems, isn't it? But how do we cope with these problems? Do we, oh no, another one, oh no, it's enough, why me, and whatsoever, and that's one way to cope with the problems, which does not make us really happy, isn't it? But there is another way, for instance, to cope with problems. Here is a problem. Okay, problems happen. Okay, so let's see what I can do to overcome this problem, to fix it. And it's always remembering me when I was still active. I had a team with engineers working with me, reporting to me. And sometimes they came to say, oh, we have so many problems and it's really difficult what you ask me to do whatsoever. And my answer was always, look, thanks God there are problems, because if there wouldn't be problem, I would not even need you. The work of an engineer is to resolve the problems, to fix them, to face them. And when we manage to face and to fix the problems, there we make a step towards the happiness, because our coping of the problems is different than when we are always claiming and shouting and whatsoever. Also, by doing something which is difficult. My boss told me once, when I made the same comment to him, oh, what you gave me to do here is very difficult. And he told me, but my young guy, if it would be easy, I would have done it already. So, okay, understood, understood the message. And more generally, I mean, the happiness is coming when we are satisfied with what we have. When we are not satisfied with what we have, however, with all these artificial needs, you will never be happy with what you have, because as soon as you have something, there is a further need. And of course, it's a way of how to say, marketing, to sell products that you don't need, to make you believe in that. But when you are happy, okay, I have an old car, but it's still fit for the purpose, so it's fine. My smart mode is as well. I'm absolutely satisfied with it. It's maybe a little slow, but I take my patience. This makes me happy, because I'm not slave of all these artificial needs. Because the spirits are also saying very clearly in question 921, most of the time, people are the artisans of their own unhappiness. So it's really up to us to be happy. It's really up to us to build this mindset to be as happy as possible here on the earth.
Wonderful, Charles. Now, our dear friends, weekly here with us, Robbie, I will ask Silvia to read what the hobby. Oh, no, sorry. It's not this one. I have to go there. Silvia, please.
Yes, he wrote, happiness is visited from time to time for me. I practice to manage myself and improve to experience more moments of happiness and share them with others. Happiness provides me courage to continue my inner transformation.
Wonderful,
So,
Robbie. Thank you for your comment and, of course, your input that you can share, we can share with others, and that's it. You are right, what you said here, time to time. Because as Charlie said, It's not entirely happy all the time. Come and go, come and go, come and go. That is our planet, Earth, in this phase of atonements and
Right.
Expiation.
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 Word of
Exactly.
atonement and
Mm.
expiation.
Yeah. So it's nice that I put here the link that Solomon talk about the course in Bristol University in the UK. That is amazing how important the scientists are giving now for happiness, for other things in the United States, in the United Kingdom, everywhere. Yeah? Psychologists,
Mm.
doctors, everyone are talking because when you have more oxytocin, this hormone in our body, we are really cuca fresca, né? Easy going, we can say, with the things. Otherwise, we can be in conflict every day with everyone, in our families, outside, in our work. But when we have this input of this wonderful philosophy of life that is Spiritism, and the Gospel according to Spiritism book that you can see here, this book is a psychology of life, totally, totally. Every part that you read is something that you can use, put in practice, and relax. If you truly are a true person with your conscience, that's it. You don't need other things. You need put in your life more love, more care, more consideration, understanding, compassion, forgiveness, charity, that we are happy. And now, Sylvia, would you like to give your more prepare Solomon your mind to bring out the things that I know
Yeah.
that you have and share it as well?
Sylvia first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think, join in, please. Um, I think I was thinking about something that Emmanuel says in one of his many messages and things, that one of the things that gives us more peace of quiet, peace of spirit, really, is a sense of that we fulfilled our duties, the sense that we have done something that was good, and I think this is very important because there is so much, we talk so much nowadays about mental health, and it has become a subject, and so I think is has become bigger than it should be. That is always been the problem of mental health, and I'm not, in any way at all dismissing that people suffer and they go through many difficulties. But I think quite a lot of the problems that we find today is that people don't seem to be able now to, learn from children that we can't have everything. When I was young, because I'm an older woman, but we if we wanted something, I mean, even if we could afford it, I'm not saying that, terribly poor couldn't afford anything. um, we had to do something for it, help, do a homework. I mean, my mom was very much into homework. So we had to do the homework. We had to help set the table to lunch or dinner, whatever, help with the washing up so we could have money to go to the cinema. I mean, she could have done it, but we used to have to do that. And we learned that not everything we wanted we could have, and it was not because maybe we couldn't have it, but because it wasn't good for us. What we wanted at that point in time wouldn't be good for us to have. And I think, we used to learn a kind of balance that, yes, there are things you can have, there are things you cannot have, because life, as we grow up, and we know that the world outside of our homes, away from our parents, is a different world. We don't have that feeling of, being protected. Um, but we had to learn that no, you're not going to have it because, you know, I don't want to give you, it's not necessary for you at the moment. And we are disappointed. Of course we were quite upset sometimes, but we learned. And now as adults are going out into the world, we have to, yes, there are things that's possible for me to have, and there are things that are not possible. And now we have our own children, and we also have to do that. But I feel, I don't know, maybe because I think somebody, I'm not sure if it was Charles or so, who talked about create. I think it was Charles said, we create a lot of necessities that we don't actually have. And parents seem to now give everything the children want. You see children 8, 9 years old with an Apple phone that costs like over £1,000, because the children want it, and they have the special toys. And that is not a word no. You cannot have it, because it's too young, or everything you want seems to be given. So we are creating a generation of people who don't know how to accept the word no. They don't know the meaning of it, and it become, and of course, the world is not like that. It's not like our parents are going to fulfill every whim that we have. And then we become very despondent and unhappy. People don't like us, because sometimes, there are people who become quite obnoxious because they are the center of attention. They are the ones, that's what they want to do. And if anyone says to them, I'm sorry, I can't do that, it's not possible, they become very despondent, very angry. And I think quite a lot of mental illness now is people don't have sort of backbone, because they have not learned, because life can be quite, challenging. And on the other hand, the very challenge that life brings us is what really, what Robbie said about this happiness that has visited me from time to time. And I think Charles also is something that, we create our own happiness. And if we are learned to see the good and the bad, and sometimes we can do something, sometimes we are not able to do something, and we can have this but we cannot have something else. If we learn this balance in life, we become more balanced, and in a way we can deal with the difficulties in life. And I find that there is a lot of things now that people cannot cope. We even with someone saying to them, sorry, I cannot do this for you, or I cannot go and meet you today because I'm busy doing something else. And anything sort of seems to bring people, and we have this thing about your truth as well as my truth. I am, and truth, yes, I have my truth. I have the things I believe. I have my experience. But on the other hand, the other person also have their truth, also have their life experience. I have to respect their truth as they have to respect me. And nowadays we seem to think, no, that's my truth and you have to accept it. And I think this is bringing a lot of unhappiness and a lot of feeling of not being fulfilled. Can even talk about many, many things now. There's a kind of imposition that you have to accept what other people think they are. And it becomes, and things become law now, which is completely absurd. I mean, thinking about, so I think that's a lot of unhappiness that we create for ourselves, because we expect things the way we're brought up. We expect things that the world will look and do what I want and be everything I tell them to do. And of course, it doesn't happen in real life. There are many times we go uh, um, into a wall. And it's fine because if you think in question of quantic things, uh, we find a wall, we try to climb over it. But if you start crying because what you wanted didn't happen, you'll be standing there against that wall instead of finding a way, a solution to go over it. So I think that's a lot of being happiness as well, is to be self-aware that there are things I am able to do, there are other things I'm not able to do because it would hurt other people, or because they themselves, other people have the right to do what they want within that boundary, the space they have between them. And that I think is a source of peace and harmony within yourself, because happiness and peace start within ourselves. And if we are assured with this for ourselves, it spreads out. Other people around us will take it as well, and will, feel and create their own world. I mean, what Robbie said, oh, if I practice to manage myself, improve my experience, I can share with others. And that's what creates happiness and well-being among people, that once I achieve something, I share. So maybe it was a long-winded answer, but
No, it's good. I think the sharing is really a key part of happiness, isn't it? It's like both you ladies were talking about giving to others, and how that makes you happy. And I think understanding we're all a community of souls, I've used this expression before, but I think it's important to know we're not isolated, because in that in those studies they're talking about loneliness, and that's very corrosive to us. When we feel totally isolated and we have no options and we can't talk to anyone, nobody loves us, then we do not feel happy, then we feel sorry for ourselves, and we feel sad. And yet in the knowledge of Spiritism, we know we are never alone anyway. So even if we think, I wish I had more friends, or I'm new in town, or whatever, in Spiritism, we know we have our spirit guide with us all the time, and many of us may have more than one, and we can, think of people who are no longer there, if that feels appropriate. And certainly none of our ancestors or our passed on loved ones would want us to be acutely suffering or thinking of suicide or anything like that. So at times like that, it can be appropriate to, think of our grandmother, grandfather, and pray and say, please bear me in your thoughts, because it's important to know that at no time are we alone. We're never abandoned. So, and to understand within Spiritism, we have a community. Like now, we have people, we have Robbie, we have others with us online and later watching this. We have groups all the way around the world offering community. So it's in understanding that we don't have to be alone. Happiness is a decision. Believe it or not, we can be happy if we just lower the bar a little bit and say, I could just decide today, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be happy, like Silvia says. I don't necessarily need the latest iPhone or all the technology, all the toys in the world. I could just say, right, today I'm happy because I'm alive. I'm happy because God exists, because I've discovered God, or, because I have a way to share and help people. And we can all look for better and better ways to help the world, sharing what we've learned on groups like this, going on discussion groups, talking about Spiritism, study groups. There's many ways that we can interact with the world and not feel like we're always, cut off and we don't have friends, because Spiritism is a big family and we welcome anybody. We're not exclusive. You don't even have to believe in us to come and talk. You can study and see what we offer. So I think to be truly happy, we have to understand that there are going to be times when we're going to be truly sad if we lose a loved one, if something is very difficult, and that's the time to not resist that either. Sadness shouldn't be resisted. That's part of coming back into balance, is feeling what is real and not resisting suffering. Embrace the experience, and then you won't need to go through it for so long, or feel it so acutely, because a lot of the suffering is kind of resisting an experience, saying, well, this is not right. I shouldn't be, poor, or I shouldn't be single, or I shouldn't have this, or I shouldn't have that. Why am I not like everybody else? Why don't I have the ticket parade and victory and the riches and everything else? But Spiritism teaches us everything is connected, and God is always in our life, and everything is always for our ultimate good. even the worst experiences, and especially the worst experiences, because they're the ones we can grow the most from. So we should learn to embrace suffering, to suffer well. And when we come out the other side of whatever particular suffering we're going through, then we will have that beautiful contrast, which is mentioned in the film at the beginning, where we can know joy in a new way because we've had the contrast of the pain or the difficulty. But over to you, Charles.
Before
Yeah, I
Charles
mean,
comments, quickly, Charles, that
go on, Elsa.
listen Solomon, Silvia, and thinking what Robbie Brown wrote here, I think the education, we are lack of giving good education for our children nowadays. Of course, happiness and suffering always exist. But the way that we are promoting education for our children is giving everything to our prince, to our princess. So when they are growing up, we are buying things in our credit card. We are suffering to pay credit card in order to give everything for the children. So we are not teaching the children to value life as it is. If I do my best to talk, to dialogue with my kids, talking about life, about sufferings, about we have less than others, but we are fine, we are okay, we are eating, we are going to the school, etc. Valuing what we have, but there are people that it's not grounded in the present time. It's always thinking the future. If I had a big house, I was happy. If I have this, I was happy. But no, it's time for us to understand better the value of life. What I have, that is my lessons, my ways to evolve that we need. It's the best thing that I can afford and God can give to us in this moment. Otherwise, as you said, a lot of people that lost everything commit suicide and suffer even more. No, Charles. I go pass to Charles now.
I mean, I like also question 922 from the Spirits book, which is somehow a summary. Huh? Because Kardec is asking, okay, there are rich people, there are poor people, but is there a general standard of happiness for all? And the answer of the Spirits is very short, only 3 lines. Huh? And they say, for the material existence, it is the possession of all that is necessary. Necessary means really necessary, and not these factice necessities. Necessary, but not superfluous. This is for the material life, and we know it very well. The Maslow pyramid, you have to have the basis. Without this basis, I mean, food, a home, and protection, and it's very difficult to be happy. So this is really what is necessary, and not these false necessary things, which in reality are, when we think better about it, are superfluous. We don't really need them. And they continue saying, for the moral life, it is a good conscience and faith in the future. Good conscience. So it's where is written, where are natural laws and God's law written? In our conscience. Solomon, you told to one of the reason for not be happy is to be alone. Yes, the natural law is the law of society, isn't it? Humankind is not done to be alone. We are made to live together in society and to do unto the other what we would like the other to do unto us. And this is leading us to happiness. And you told also about suffering. Okay, suffering is a little bit more difficult situation because I remember one thing. I had a surgery because of illness and so on. And the day of the surgery, when they release you, first you are in this, how to say, salle de réveil in French, to wake up from the anesthetics and so on. So you are a little bit groggy.
Recovery room, I think. Recovery room.
Yes. Then they take you in your room, sometimes a specialized room where you have, the monitor of the heart, and you have blood pressure monitoring, you have injection of water and remedies and so on. You have also some drains. A lot of you are bound everywhere. So that happened with me. But this, when we talk face in the future, thinking back, it was one of the most happy days I had in my life, because you are completely bound. You are dependent of these people. You are dependent of everything, or almost. And still, you look up and you see God. You are facing the future, and you say, "Look, God, here I am. You want to take me back to the spiritual world? Okay. You want to, as I stay here a little bit more, also okay for me, And it was really this feeling of this communion, of having this face, bringing some light to you. It made me extremely happy, more happy than even being healthy, because thanks God, again, the things went, and I'm totally recovered now. But thinking back, that moment was really one of the most happiest in my life. So it's again a question of mindset, a question of coping. Having good conscience means to do whatever we can do to help the others, gratitude, uh, charity, whatever. huh? to have this good conscience. Avoid doing also the things who are making you with bad conscience, because with bad conscience, should have done that. There I could have done some things that I missed, that I didn't do. This does not make us happy. It's so simple. You see, 3 lines, and the spirits are giving this general standard for be happy, and it's not complicated, but it requires from us this effort. It requires from us to think about the natural law, the God's law, and the effort to make such that we are most possible in harmony with these laws, and that will make us as happy as possible, even on this difficult planet, even with all this what we can see around us. So let's try to do our best to share this, and also in the same section of the Spirit's book, there is also another question that I love a lot. It's a question 932 of the Spirit's book. I don't know if it's one of them that I know by heart. And Kardec is asking, why do the wicked of this world usually exert a great influence of the good? Why are the wicked dominating in this world, leading even? Answer of the spirits is because the good are not assertive. The wicked are scheming and daring, whereas the goods are timid. The moment they want to, the latter will prevail. So let's really go on this, do whatever we can in order to have the good prevailing on our planet, and then increasing the level of happiness as much as possible.
I am sure our friends that are watching at the end of our video today, our live, they will say together, "Don't you worry, be happy." That is, of course. If you worry every day, we will be like that every day. No, life is a blessing. Doesn't matter if my car is broken, if I lost my job. We have to be happy to have this connection with our benefactors, because we are never alone. As Solomon in Charles mentioned, we are never alone. We are always surrounded by thousands, or more than that, a multitude of witnesses, good
Witnesses.
and bad. But we need the most to have our good thoughts in peace. And so in peace, we can think better, we can plan better, we can find the things that we are like that, like that, like that. Where? It is here in front of me. Always calm down, pray that the happiness is not of this world, but we have lumps of happiness. When a baby born, when someone win a lottery, when you have the opportunity to go to a charity of kids and give something to the kids and stay there to make kids smile, that talk with the kids, that's something good in our life, that we are never alone. When we think, share our things with others, we are really feel a blessing in our heart. That is a glimpse of happiness that we are having here.
Elsa,
And,
just a quick one that I did forget. Solomon told about the pain we have when we lose a beloved one.
Mhm.
Here again, what means to lose a beloved one or passing away? What does it mean? It does not mean disappear completely. It
Exactly.
just means to be freed from the physical body and to join that team of mentors and family spirits which are helping us. So even this, with the spiritist body of knowledge and the spiritualist paradigm, we can find reasons to not, how to say, to overcome a pain which is so big, a mother losing a child or whatsoever, but it's not a loss. Basically, it's just a temporary separation.
We never die. We are immortal beings. Come
Death
and
does
go,
not
come and
exist.
go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, and I think that I was going to say as well, because talking about happiness and make us happy and trying to make us create happiness for us, we cannot deny that there is a lot of suffering in this world. There is a lot of pain. There are a lot of people homeless. We are living now through many wars around us, incredibly painful and incredible. It's unimaginable, really. And there are people now, especially, worried about their families that have been taken, and they don't know if they are dead, if they're alive, or they are going through. So, it's almost unimaginable, the suffering and the pain of the families and the parents, having their children, babies, and everything. um, and I think in that, we cannot solve that problem, but we can pray for them. And I think that's a source as well for us of some contentment, that we are able to have empathy to other people suffering, to what they are going through, and to send them prayers and to ask God to give them the strength and they need, because this time in this life, they have to go through that experience and we don't know why. So we can send them prayers, and that is something that can make us feel better, that even though we cannot solve everybody's problem, at least we can think of them, we can sympathize with them, we can empathize with what they're suffering, and we can send them prayers and ask God to help them. I think this is also a kind of who brings us some peace in our own hearts, because Halil Gibran, he said, when someone is hurt, it hurts me because I'm human too. I'm part of humanity. So whatever hurts you, it hurts me. And I think this should be something as well that we can treasure, the fact that we can, we may have arrived at a level that we can already empathize with other people's pain and share with it, in a way, through prayers, and to send them, and if you don't believe in God, or if you have a prayers, positive thoughts, send them a lot of love. It's a prayer as well. So I think this is very important as well, to honor that there is pain and suffering in this world, because that's the kind of world we are. But we are changing, and things are going to be better. The future is going to be good and loving. Yeah.
Amen.
Wise words, Silvia. Wise words. Really good. Really nice indeed. Oh, my friends, we are in the end of our live. Very special, very nice. And some minutes if you want to say something that otherwise you close up. And Silvia have a very important notice. Don't miss it.
No. Okay. Just very briefly then, but quickly. Next week, we are going to talk about why do we need a law of destruction, and sort of going as well, why there is so much pain, so much destruction in our world today. So we're going to be talking about that. If everybody like to join, it would be wonderful. And thank you very much for everyone. And so, and Charles and you, Elsa, it's lovely to have you and everybody with us.
Before we finish, we show here Elisa Giselle Rodriguez wrote something that Solomon, can you read, please, loudly?
Yes, I agree. To be happy, we have to understand ourselves, our spirituality, the brevity of this life, vastness of the next, in order to come to terms with what really truly matters, to come to terms with our own humanity, to evolve in this lifetime. It is here where we begin to find happiness in the simplest things in life, which is not the material things. Some of the most beautiful things in life cannot be touched or even seen. We sometimes lose sight of this reality when there is suffering.
Yes.
Beautiful, Elisa. Eliza, thank you very much. Lindo.
Actually, this thing from Eliza reminds me of a quote from Exupéry book, The Little Prince. He said, "What is important is invisible to the eye." That's one of the things that they say to The Little Prince. It's one of the most wonderful books in the world.
Yes.
Which is essential. What is essential is invisible to the eye. Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Look
really
with the
nice.
heart. Yeah.
It's here and here. Yes. So, my dear friends, dear Charles, Solomon, Silvia, thank you very much for have you here. Thank you for your collaboration, your contribution. Very nice indeed. So, to all, have a nice and beautiful week, and we will be together. For God, we will be next week together here again. Okay, share with your friends, invite your friends, and chat with us. God
God
bless you all.
bless.
Bye, bye,
Bye
bye,
bye.
bye, bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good week. God bless.